Okay, good afternoon. Today we are going to be reviewing episode 214 of Chips, entitled The Repo Man. I am Flagon.
Skip Fecal.
Boom Boom Gaza.
And in this episode, there is a repo man and a watchmaker and a waterbed. And with that, I think we'll get right into our review of this episode. Best line by Ponch. I had him talking to the sergeant while he was on duty saying, "Check on my waterbed, see if it came in." But the thing I don't understand is the suspension in his motorhome. I don't know if it'll be able to support the weight of this waterbed or not. So that was my favorite line.
I liked the fact that it was during the daytime, just started his shift, but he has to go leave to check on his waterbed. So that was my favorite part as well.
Yeah, I would say checking the waterbed was the best line by Punch. That brings us to the next category, which is Best Extra. I didn't have anything for that, so.
I had the jeweler that gave John a hard time about his watch.
And I like the guy driving the car that Doyle Ware was towing. It looked really exciting to see him in the backseat of that car, in the front seat.
It's exciting.
Best car that was wrecked. What do I have here? When Doyle was being chased and he ran over the empty wooden shack, the whole thing exploded. So that's what caused his car to wreck. I thought that was really funny because the shack was just falling apart.
Yeah, one of his repos was the car Doyle was hauling. It bit the dust, thanks to his horrible driving.
Yes, I had the car that the repo man was towing as well. That brings us to the Best Chase Music.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have anything for that because all the chase music in every episode pretty much sounds the same to me. So
I had it when the bus driver had a heart attack and there was a skateboard underneath his foot, and the kid jumped on there and took control of the wheel. I had that. That was good music.
Yeah, my favorite was in the final Doyle Ware chase scene, where as the music was great, but the other part that was even better was the fact that as he was being chased, we were going from wet roads to dry roads to wet roads to dry roads. It was obviously filmed on 2 separate days, but they didn't bother to do anything. They just kept it together, yeah. Favorite off-duty moment? Easily on this one was Baker getting ready to go to the Pizza Paradise. He got all dressed up in his turtleneck and sport coat, expecting to meet 2 girls. What was their names?
Babe
and Jackie.
Jackie,
yeah.
It ended up being 2 guys, and he was really disappointed. So that was my favorite off-duty moment.
My favorite off-duty was when Baker was rejected when he tried to buy a saddle, and his credit came back as being no good.
That was a pretty good one. Mine was meeting Jackie and Babe at the Pizza Paradise. Favorite on-duty moment. Mine was John jumping from the overpass onto the runaway school bus. I thought that was pretty amazing that he could do that.
Yeah, I had Baker stopping the wayward school bus. I thought that was good. Jumped on top of it.
Yeah, that must have been the best moment ever because I had the same one. Baker jumping from the bridge on top of a moving bus.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable.
It was.
For the first time, he was the actual star.
Yeah.
Ponch didn't have to. And this was 14th episode of the 2nd season before that actually happened. Best deep thought. I didn't actually get the quote word for word, but the part that I really enjoyed about Baker was when he was trying to buy the saddle. And he didn't buy the saddle, not because he lived in a city where there are no horses, but because he just didn't have the credit to get it.
Yeah, and they asked him to go somewhere, and he said, "I have to go feed and exercise my horses," so he couldn't go somewhere. That was his excuse why he couldn't go.
Oh, that's pretty good. I didn't have anything that was a real deep thought by Baker. He did say, "I shouldn't buy this saddle." I don't know.
I don't need it anyway.
Yeah, he didn't need it. Next will be estimated money spent on wrecking cars this episode. Do you guys have any dollar amounts there?
7,100. Came up with.
Wow, that's pretty good. I only had 2,300. I only saw 2 cars that were crashed. When Doyle crashed his car into a truck and they both exploded. Neither of them looked like they were worth very much in my opinion. Scene with the tightest pants. Anybody have one for that?
Nothing really specific.
No, neither did I. So let's move on to favorite botched attempt at authentic Spanish. When Ponch was talking to Doyle and he says, "Amigo, I don't like the way you're swinging that wrench around." I'm not sure that Doyle really understood what amigo meant either, but that was my favorite one.
I had the same one actually, because Spanish was pretty few and far between this episode, but that was the one I had.
Yeah, pretty much all he did say was amigo in his weird accent as well. So That brings us to the most ridiculous line, even for Chip's standards. Did you guys have anything down for that?
Mine goes back to the beginning. I had to go check on my waterbed. So that was mine.
I like Baker. He says, "Bet your socks that car is hot."
Oh.
Last time I checked, my socks cost about 35 cents at Walmart. Back in the day, they were probably about 10 cents. So I don't know why that was such a big bet for Baker. Apparently, his salary isn't very high. Favorite character name? There's a couple here, but the best one was Doyle Ware. I think I like the name Doyle.
Yep, I had the same one as well.
Okay, so that brings us to best stock footage scene. Did anyone have anything for that?
Just typical chase scenes of wayward buses or wayward cars being chased. Kind of stock footage.
I liked when they were on the stakeout at Doyle. They were kind of tailing him, Baker and Ponch and Baker's blue pickup. And Doyle kept moving around, but the scenes of inside the truck were always from the same spot. So no matter where Doyle was, Baker and Ponch were supposed to be in that same parking lot, but they were always in, on the set somewhere, because it was always the same shot. Scene that should have been left out. I've got Ponch writing down license plate numbers. He was in the junkyard or some parking lot or something, just taking notes, creative notes, and writing each and every license plate down. It was about a 15-minute scene that didn't need to be in there.
I had anything related to John Saddle.
Really there was so much boring stuff in this one. About half of it could have been just not there at all.
Yeah, this was a very terrible episode.
So that brings us to seeing that best represents the year that the episode was filmed. I put the sweaters on the brothers at the pizza place that Babe and Jackie were wearing. They were kind of like Mr. Rogers sweaters with a shawl collar. Definite representation of a time period.
I had anything related to Ponch's waterbed. And that kind of gave away what it was.
Yeah, I just had the Pizza Paradise in general.
Oh, Pizza Paradise. Yeah, not Palace.
I don't know. Either one, probably went to both. The best villain. For me, I gave it to the watchmaker.
Yeah.
Because he stole a bunch of money from Baker. Because first he wanted to charge him $3, then he wanted to charge him $5, and at the end he wanted to charge him $40 to fix it.
I had the dead guy slumped over in the school bus. The guy that had a heart attack while he's driving.
The best villain. I had the Repo Man, because he told that lady that her kid was sick or injured, and he was really just trying to get her car. I thought that was really mean. So that brings us to what did Ponch demonstrate he's an expert at? Waterbeds.
Yeah, buying waterbeds.
I put repossession. Mostly because he knew all about the trailers. Because he lives in one.
Yeah.
So he knew about all that. Favorite Rosie moment? I like the fact that he actually wrote an article for the Highway Patrolman. I don't subscribe to that anymore, but the articles were really good, and I thought that he must have been a great writer to have an article published in there.
Yeah, I didn't know he was a published author, but apparently he was.
I had Grossy putting out the fire with the bulldozer, and then you got to sign autographs. He put out the fire. So that's it. That's what I
Anything
have.
else to add? The other thing I wanted to add was I'm trying to figure out what's going on with these news cameras. Because in this episode and in episode 318, you had these futuristic news cameras, like these cameras they built in the 50s to look like they're in the future. And I don't understand if that's what they really looked like in the late 70s, or if they just made them look like that to be on TV.
I don't know.
Yeah, boxes, kind of, just
I
boxes.
think they were big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anything else?
No.
All right, thanks for listening to our review of episode 214, The Repo Man, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Hey, which flag? Come on, Spike, let's go.